Hello everyone, it's Looren here, Only Shade Drops back for another video, and I have some very special guests today. Neil and Thomas from niallpoints.com are joining me today. We're gonna discuss the Eurosong 2025 songs, see what song could bring the best possible results to Belgium. Hey there, Neil and Thomas.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you all doing?
Great. Very happy
Great.
to be here.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's very exciting. This is our first. Well, it's not our. Is it our first collab? No, it's our second collab.
Oh,
We've done. It's our second.
had-
I was thinking yeah, because we've done a collab
with Dude.
last
Wow.
year with Dude Point.
oh,
Who's
oh
also-
yeah.
also
Oh, okay. I should go check that one out.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think you should be able to find it on our channel. I think.
Just go to niallpoints.com and you'll find all the videos later.
Exactly. All the links will be put in the description below. Go subscribe to them. Go follow them on social media. They're amazing. They do amazing content. A video or two videos a day, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's getting
If we
busy
can
season,
manage.
isn't it? Isn't
Go
it? It's getting
subscribe to
busy.
them right now. And after you've subscribed to everything, you can come back and actually watch this video.
Yeah, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. Very important. Give this a like. It really helps us out to spread the content. So
Yes. Keep our little channels alive. Maybe we
Yeah.
can grow someday. So I was thinking we'd do this in alphabetical order. We'll go through the songs. I
Yeah.
have them right there. I think we're gonna start with Grace and the song Pull Up, which was actually the first one to be presented, I think.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was the first one in Showcase 1. Yeah.
And I think you particularly loved this one, Thomas.
I did. Well, love is a big word, but I like it. Do you know what? It's one of those typical girl pops with a dance break. So I don't really know how you can dislike a song like that. You can maybe say that, oh, it's not really original and we've seen it all before, and we have, but then, what song is actually 100% original? There's always going to be some influences from other songs. I think I had a discussion the other day with a Spanish Eurofan he's kept calling every single girl bop a copy of Chanel, and I thought, you do realize that Chanel was only
God.
like 3 years ago. Like, she didn't invent the girl bop with the dance break. She did it very well. But like, she did. Do you know what? It's not original, but I like it. It's a bop. It's something that I'm listening to, and it's easygoing. It's easy to remember. You can sing along to it, and it just, we did a little shimmy when we were listening to it, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm still obsessed with the cane prop. Like, she looks
Yeah.
like she should be in the Liberty X music video from 2002, which is probably before you were born or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is going to make us feel really old. But no, it was very competent. I hope for Grace, I would like to see just a. And actually, for most of these artists, from the showcase to the live show on Saturday night, I'd love to see just like a growth in confidence, take that big stage and just like take it all in and enjoy the experience, and don't care too much about what the result is, because that way I think they'll have not only a better performance, but they'll enjoy it more. So yeah, but Grace was one where I did feel like there was a little bit of, I felt like the Kane was for a little bit of time used sort of like a prop, like a clutch. So I do think I would like to see her feel more confident in her performance. But I think if she gets that, I think this could be a surprisingly good chance of taking over. We're used to surprises in Eurosong. Look at Gustav. No one was expecting that.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, I think I think she's a pretty good performer. Like, she's got the attitude, she's got a great voice. I can see her definitely with a very good staging, like selling it. My personal problem is a little bit more the song. I feel like for its genre, it's a bit blander than other songs. We've got songs that were similar and that were stronger, that were
Yeah.
better produced and not better performed. Because I think she's the strong point of the song. Like with another singer, I think this could go very wrong. But I believe that with a good staging, I might actually be surprised by this one. I see it as kind of a dark horse. Like it's
Yeah.
the dark horse for me. Like you mentioned Chanel in Benidorm Fest, we didn't expect anything from her after
Yeah.
the studio versions, and then well, we also what
The
happened
rest is
with
history.
yeah, third in Eurovision, I think, third
Yes,
place
she was.
behind some rider, yeah. And yeah, I think that with a good live performance, she can actually be. I don't think she'll be the best option for Belgium, but I would not mind, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the song,
Hmm.
because
That's fair.
we're 100% televote semifinal, and this kind of song work better with the televotes. I feel like this would be, if it's strong enough to win this national final, I think it's strong enough to qualify with the televote.
Yeah, especially I think in the lineup that Belgium has, and obviously we're going to be talking about the other songs in a minute. Like if she can actually pull off winning Eurosong, then yeah, maybe. But I think the issue with this kind of song, and you've basically said it yourself, it does kind of feel a bit blander than some other of these girl bops. If we're thinking about, we've discussed this before, Neil and I. Malta's entry last year, Sarah Bonici, Loop. Both of
Yeah.
us, when we heard the song for the first time, we were like, okay, this is a fun song, but it's a copy of every other girl bop that we've ever had, and we weren't a fan of it. We were like, nah. But then she completely blew us away with staging and her performance in Eurovision. She didn't make. I think she came last.
Yeah.
Was she
She came last.
Yeah.
Yes, last.
Robbery.
It's still insane to me. Completely robbed.
Malta is horrible with the televote.
It's so weird. And I think that performance was so fantastic. I mean, she did the actual loop blindfolded. She had a massive dance break, great vocals, and then she comes last. So in that sense, I feel like I wouldn't mind us being represented by Grace. Like you said, she's a very good performer. She's a very good vocalist. Obviously, she won the Voice. So no problem there. But I feel like maybe people even though people will still dance to this at like a club, they might be maybe a bit tired of seeing it at Eurovision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it's
think
time
that
for
may be
something
what's
new.
happening.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
could get the Sarah Bonici effect. Yeah. That's true.
I feel so
But
sad
it's-
about Sarah Bonici again. Like, don't
Oh,
mean to
yeah.
be. It's traumatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did not really like her song, but the performance was very good and didn't deserve to be last in the
Yeah.
semifinal. But yeah, that's the thing with Malta. Like with the busker, they also came second last or something.
Yeah.
Televote
The Busker were last, I think.
last or
They
second
were
last.
last as well. No,
Whoa.
were they?
Wait,
We'd
I
have to look it up later, but
I've got to check this one because the busker.
something tells me that they were last because I remember being outraged because I loved that song and I still do.
Oh yes, they were. They got 3 points. Oh my god.
It's insane.
3 points is
Their
nothing.
performance was very good.
People just don't like fun. I think.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't like fun. That's
Yeah.
the thing, and they don't like Malta. Most of all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Malta has done well on occasions. I think.
Yeah.
I think. Do you know what it is as well with Malta? It's such a small country, so there's always going to be a bit of an issue of finding an artist. You know, if
Yeah.
you've only got a certain amount of population, like at some point you're going to run out. You're not going to run out of talent, but you're going to run out of people that actually want to do Eurovision and that could do it well. So I think they could do. I think they could do well with borrowing from other countries. You know,
Yeah, it's possible.
Celine Dion wasn't Swiss, and she did it.
Yeah, exactly.
That turned out really well.
That's a good example. So I think we got done with Grace with her song.
Yes.
And who do we have next? Okay, that one is a bit special for me. It's Monster by Jelle van Dael. I
Oh, why
hope
is
I
it
pronounced
special
it
for you?
correctly. Because it's my favorite of the national final.
All right, okay.
Oh, okay.
My favorite.
So,
So tell us why.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm not the kind to hype my country up a lot. Like I wanted us to flop in 2022 and 2021. But now I'm feeling like with this song, I've got into a little bit of a more delusional part. So stop me if I start really being delusional. I um I feel like it's a strong song that has a memorable chorus. It's it is jury based for me. I think it's the kind of song that can do very well with the juries, less well than the televote. Less well with the televote. I'm sorry. And I have one little small interrogation. Is her vocal? She sounded very good during the presentation, but there were some notes that were a bit off. But yeah, I guess with some work it will improve. And I really think that with a very good staging, that this one can create some magic on stage.
Mm.
She has mad charisma, but like Grace too has real charisma and stage presence. You can't take your eyes off of her and of her performance. So I really think we've got a great shot with this one. But I may be a little bit worried about the televote not fully getting it enough to qualify, but not to be like competitive for top five. Like
Yeah.
the kind of bridge what the Bridges did for Estonia with Aleka, got top 10
Yeah.
with the jury and then around 16, 17 with the televote and top 10 overall. So I do feel like it's a song that could get a top 10 result, but most people have been telling me that it would barely qualify. So I'm very curious of your opinion here.
I don't think it would barely qualify. I think Thomas and I reviewed list just now. It'll be on our channel on Friday, and I believe Thomas put it in a safe qualifier if it was to go for Eurovision.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to agree, but I think I added a few more names than Thomas did into that bracket. I think List pulls a lot of inspiration from some really well performed Eurovision songs and some really successful Eurovision songs, but inspiration in a way where it was like not copy pasted. It's not, you can't do the same thing that people did with kind of Queens to Clara Hammerstall at Melfest, where they said, "Oh, it's the same song." It's not, but it feels like there's thought going into it, and it's and I was pleasantly surprised by the showcase actually, because despite the tiny stage, her look was great. The backdrop and the lighting was fantastic, worked really well with her and the music, and the audience were loving life actually. I feel like she got a really, really good response. Yes, I agree. Vocally, it wasn't perfect, and there are ways that can be tuned up. Obviously, this was filmed in December, and we're coming into February soon. I think this was a pretty decent, competent song that could do well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think it's like you said earlier. I think it's got a very memorable chorus. It's very, like, even now, it's like as we're talking about it, it's like in the back of my head. I can hear it going in my head. I think I do think it's a safe qualifier, because I feel like it's a kind of song. It feels very Eurovision-y. It feels, like you said, like it's gotten its inspiration from other songs that have done well without actually copying it, which is why it sounds familiar. Like the first thing that you said was, "Oh, I think it sounds kind of familiar. It reminds me of something." It doesn't sound like any specific song. It's just that it is very much Eurovision. It feels like it's made and produced for a competition, which could be a bit cliche, but it can also be a good thing. I think this is a very strong song. I think she's a competent singer. And I use the word singer because I think that she's a very good performer. I think she's a competent singer. I don't think she's pitch perfect, but then she doesn't have to be. And like we said earlier, we've got time to work on that. I really liked the staging concept that we had in the showcase. It was, even though it was very minimal, I liked the lighting. I liked what was going on in the backdrop. I loved her outfit. She looked stunning. And she does have a lot of charisma. And I would not count her out as a possible winner for Eurosong for all the reasons that I've just mentioned, but also this is a well-established name in Belgium. Jelle, do you know when we listened? Do you know when we reacted to Red Sebastian earlier this week? And I was talking about the dance and the trance scene in Belgium. Ever since the 90s, when dance music became very popular, we have had a very strong dance scene here. And we had, let's say, 3 main dance acts that were very, very popular, starting in the 90s all the way through to the late 2000s. One of them was Milk Inc., the other Silver, very, very good acts. And then we had Lasgo, which was the third one. Lasgo was a project that had a lead singer who, after a string of hits in the 90s and the early 2000s, she quit. So the band sort of like, dislodged, like they sort of like went their own separate ways. And a little while later, they decided, we want to do this again. We want to make music again together. And they did this TV show, a reality TV show, where they were looking for a new lead singer. And Jelle is the girl who won that show.
Oh.
So in the early 2000s, she won that show and she became the new lead singer of Lasgo. And then they had another string of really big hits in Belgium. So people know who she is. The band also disbanded again a while later, a couple of years later, but people still know her from then. And the younger generation might now know her from Sing Again. There was this TV show, I don't know if other countries have a copy of the TV show. It's called Sing Again, where they sort of look back at previous talent shows in Belgium. And they sort of like ask all of these artists that are now sort of out of the spotlight to come back and sing again in that TV show. So she was one of the, Red Sebastian was on that show as well. They actually did a duet, which is fun.
Oh.
So in that sense, she's probably, I think she might be the most famous in Flanders. So we have Mentissa, obviously, which we're going to talk about later, who's very famous in France and in the French part of Belgium. But in Flanders, Jelle van Dael is, I'm not going to say she's a big name, but she's an established name. So, and Belgian people tend to vote for something that they know.
Yeah, Gustav was pretty established too.
He was, although it had been a long time since he was big in the 90s as well, and then sort of like he was a well-known name, I think, as a songwriter, as a a vocal coach. Obviously, was a vocal coach of Geike from Hooverphonic, for example. He was also in Eurovision with her. But yeah, so I wouldn't count her out at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty competitive start, let's say.
Yeah.
So, okay, next up. Oh, yep, we have another. I think it's a fan favorite. This one. I think the Eurofans quite like it. Fille Papa by the Manou.
How could you not like it? Because as soon as you hear it, it's all you can hear ever again in your life.
Yeah.
It's not left my head. My head at this point in time is some really weird combination of Fille Papa and Ikome by Erica Vickman. Just going, just combining and swirling around in my head like all the time. Like I'll be at work, sat next to someone, just going, papa, 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 like it's just. Yeah, my head is a scary place right now. Thank you very much, Eurovision.
Yeah, it is a super, super catchy song. And we both said the second time that we heard it, because we both watched the first showcase, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
You didn't watch the second one. We both watched the first one. Neither of us were really convinced of Pia Papa first time we heard it. We thought like, okay, it's cute, it's fun, but we weren't impressed. And then we reacted to it a couple days ago, and we were both like, is this another performance? Because this is actually really good. And it is so catchy. And for days on end now, same. I've just been constantly singing that melody over and over and over again. My issue with this one, because we were talking about safe qualifiers, I did not put this in the bracket of safe qualifier at Eurovision because I feel like she's not the most confident vocalist. I feel like in the lower parts, especially at the start of the song, it's kind of shaky. Again, was filmed in December, so a lot can have improved by now. We'll have to see on the 1st of February. It's very catchy. It could be a fan favorite if it does make it, but I fear for it, especially with juries. She's going to have to be very, very strong vocally, because it's not a very challenging song to sing. So you need to at least nail those couple of notes that there are. And I also don't have no clue about staging, what this is going to be like. I don't know how it's going to be staged.
She's got a great style, though. I think
she does.
I said everything but the sort of skirt thing she was wearing, like that can get burnt, but everything looked cool. We said that she gave us May Mother vibes quite a bit in terms of her attitude and her style, which I really appreciated as well. Yeah, I think this is fun. Whether or not I think it's competitive, I'm still not sure. But sometimes you just want to start with a good, fun vibe and go from there and see what happens. I mean, look at I Wrote a Song that's obviously fun, good vibe. Did not do well with the televote. Did not do particularly well with the juries. But you play that in Euroclub at Eurofest in the middle of London, and you will get a huge reaction. We've seen it firsthand. It will go off more than you've ever heard anything go off. And so sometimes that's a great starting point, and send something that you can be happy with sending, no matter regardless of how well it does. We've said that quite a few times, actually.
Yeah, I'd be happy if this is our song. Like in purely song wise, I'd say this is in my top 3. Because I just keep listening to it. I'm just not sure on its chances at Eurovision. It could do really well, but I feel like it could also completely flop. I have no clue, and it's going to come down to her staging. So this is one of those where I'm like, I'm not confident about the staging. I have no clue what's going to happen. Whereas with some other songs, you can sort of like have visions in your own head about what they could do. With this one, you know, if we look at Austria's entry in with like Pia Maria, what year was that?
2022.
Two. Yeah.
2022. That was a fantastically good song, a fan favorite, and then it completely flopped. It didn't even, I mean, granted, the vocal wasn't good, but still, the song should have been good enough to qualify, and it didn't. So in that sense, I'm like, this one feels sort of like similar. It's also like a club banger, and those tend to not always do very well at Eurovision.
Fun fact about Halo, it was my most listened to song of 2022.
I love the studio version. And then that live performance.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
That's not. About Manou,
what do you think?
What did you want to say? Oh, yeah. I do like the song. I think the chorus is very catchy. I wish she performed with more energy, but she's got a bit of time to work on that. Maybe in the national finals, she'll give that much the energy needed. I find the lyrics kind of fun, and there is a message, but there's some, I don't know, cheekiness to it that is kind of fun. The thing about qualifying, I would have been very worried about this song if we were still in the 50-50 format. I do think that with the televote format, 100% it's stronger to qualify, but then you would need to have a good draw in your semifinal. like
Yeah.
be like semi-final 2 of 2022, where Blanca qualified for Poland, for example.
Yeah.
We were
I
we were
mean-
just talking about this because we've obviously had
Oh.
the allocation draw now,
Yeah.
and it
Oh.
is a tricky one from the looks of it.
Yes.
Well, it's a very strong semi-final. Belgium's in a very strong semi-final, and I think that's going to be an issue maybe. But we are in the second half, so and I feel like this could maybe one of those songs that they put last because it's a bit of a
Yeah,
banger. It's good.
Yeah.
It would be a fan favorite because it's so cute and fun and catchy. So Laura Tesoro came third in her semi-final with that song, but she performed last in the semi, so that was a huge advantage for her. So I'm not saying it's impossible at all. I think it but I just don't know. I'm just
Yeah. Who closed the semis last year? Actually,
who closed the
like
semi. I think Netherlands closed one of the semis, and was it Finland?
Yes, and the semi-final one.
Or was
I
it?
don't think
No, it was Luxembourg, wasn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
it was Luxembourg.
well,
Luxembourg.
yeah, both did very well in the semi-final. So
Yeah.
being a closer usually helps a lot, and
Yeah.
it is kind of song that sounds like a closer, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love the fact that me and Thomas were both there for at least one of the semi-finals, and both just went, "Who was last?" Like we had no clue.
Yeah.
Completely
I
gone
had-
from our brain.
Luxembourg had closed the semi-final. But yeah,
Who's next?
Manou, I had that as a borderline option. Could go either way.
Yeah, very
A
much.
bit
Yeah.
like Grace. Next up, we have Leez, Perfectly Imperfect. Who wants to start on this one?
Go on, Thomas.
Okay,
I've got a lot to
start
say.
on this one. This is one that I like, but I don't love it. I feel like it's also just like Jelle's song, very much made for a competition. There's some big vocal moments in there, which, by the way, her vocal was insanely good in the showcase. So she's definitely got that voice, absolute perfection. I think she looked really good. She had, I don't know if you noticed this, like, because I told Neil this when we were watching. She has what seems to be like a cut up basketball on her breasts, which is very funny to me.
I did not know that.
Rewatch the showcase.
Yeah.
I don't know what that choice was, but it looks good on her. It really looks good on her. The song I think is, I think it's a good song. I think it's got a memorable chorus, but I compare it to Jelle's song because I feel like it's very similar in vibe and in style, where it has that explosive beat, like that explosive drop and big vocals. You know, Jelle's song has that as well. If I have to compare the two, Jelle's song is very much the superior one. And I feel like Leez's chances therefore might be crushed a little bit. Yeah, I don't really have that much to say. I like it, and I think that she did a really, really good job. And depending on the staging, it could grow on me more. If it would go to Eurovision, I wouldn't be angry. I'd be okay with it. I don't think she would be a safe qualifier, though. I feel like that one might be a little bit too cliche, a bit, you know. I don't know. I think it's just we've seen other songs that are like this that are a lot better. And here's the thing.
Juries.
Yeah, I think it could do well with the juries. I just don't think it would do well with the telephone. But here's the thing with Leez. She is the brother of probably one of the
She's a brother?
biggest-
To the brother?
She is the sister. Sorry, sorry. Look. It's not late. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm my brain isn't braining. She is the sister of what is probably maybe the biggest name in Flanders right now. Her brother is a very famous singer in Flanders. He sings in Flemish. I'm not a biggest fan of his music, but he's very, very big. He's everywhere. He's on the radio. He's in every TV show. And people know her through him. They know that she's a sister. And she has also been in a couple of TV shows. I think she was in Liefde voor de Muziek, which is a show, we talked about this earlier, Neil, briefly when I said there's a show where people cover each other's songs. Flemish artists cover each other's songs. Sometimes there's also Dutch artists in there. So she was in that. So again, I wouldn't count her out because people know who she is. And like I said, Flemish people tend to vote for something familiar, something that they know. And Flemish people do have a bit of a soft spot for these sort of like cute stories and nostalgia and stuff like that. So yeah, but the song, I'm not that big on it.
So Perfectly Imperfect was my favorite song of Showcase 1. And I remember comparing it to Lights Off by We Are Dommy and just having really nice vibes. But you want to know what the issue is, which is the complete antithesis to We Are Dommy and Lights Off. Is I'm sat here, I'm like, I really like that song. Cannot remember a thing about the performance. If you talk about Fille Papa, I remember that performance. You talk about Grace, I remember that performance. I don't, and this is one of my favorite songs. It wasn't memorable within that lineup, and that is potentially disastrous. Obviously, you do have the benefit of being associated with a well-known act. That could help. But yeah, I think she would need to do something really big in order to get around that, because it's a lovely song, but I forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm actually now trying to remember the melody of it.
Exactly.
I am actually struggling to remember the melody.
You, da, da, da,
oh yeah. Okay, like it's that. Coming back. It's coming back.
Yeah.
But you see what I mean, sign. Like. Yeah.
Yes, I can. The thing, she's associated to a big name, but if she goes to Eurovision, people will not really associate her to that name. So okay, the lights went up right when you're talking about We Are Dommy. Lights off.
Which is, are they doing a performance somewhere? Because they might have drained the power just trying to light up their stage.
Yeah, that was one, in my opinion, one of the best stagings of that year. But yeah, about Perfectly Imperfect, for me, it's not. I enjoy it. The problem with it is it's very jury based, and we don't have juries in the semifinal. I can just imagine this in Melody Festivalen, and like in a Melody Festivalen, something like that. I'm gonna compare it to a song. Not that the songs are similar, but it's way through a final. It's kind of similar, like Denmark last year. And I loved Sand. Sand was in my top 5.
We said that. We said
Thomas
that in our review.
Yes. The thing is, Sand would have totally qualified if there were juries. But 100% televote. These kind of songs don't do as well as with the juries in this format. So I feel like if we send Leez, we might set ourselves up for failure in the semifinal.
Potentially.
And I think she's, if she had Monster, I think she would be like perfect for that song, for example, because she's such a great vocalist. Exactly. She's such a great vocalist, and I do hope that she will, if she doesn't win, that she will come back, but with a stronger song, and a song that also feels more like, I mean, this song could be sung by anyone. I don't feel like it's necessarily her song. I want to know who, like, Leez, what's going on there with the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's something that we talked about when we discussed Jelle's entry just before we did our review of Jelle's song. That one and Leez's song as well. It just feel like it's made. It could just as well be made for Melfest. It could just be made by this. I sometimes imagine there's this machine that the Swedes have that just continuously writes music and songs. and it's just sort of like a Rolodex of like, and you can hear it ticking, and it's just spitting out songs, and it's like, oh, here we've got like 2 kilos of songs, like send that to Belgium, send that to Sweden, send that to
The
Portugal,
songwriting
wherever.
camp.
It's
Songwriting camp that they have every year.
They do have
Exactly.
a machine. It's called Thomas Gayson.
Oh,
yeah.
Or Jimmy Joker.
But you know what I mean, right? When I say like it's Leez's song, when you said Melfis now, it does sound like it's made for, like, it wasn't written by her, but I think it is. I think she did co-write the song. But it's just, it's too cliche. It's too cliche. Jelle's song is a bit cliche as well, but it's much stronger. It's much better produced, I think. There's a better and a nicer melody in there. And that's the thing. A melody is a sort of like, it's basically just a string of notes attached to each other. And even though something doesn't sound bad necessarily, one melody is just going to sound more catchy and more beautiful than another. And I feel like Perfectly Imperfect, just, it doesn't do enough. It doesn't really, yeah.
Okay. I think that's the harsher we've been on the song so far, but I don't think it's the harshest we will be on the song, considering who the next one is.
Why do I know which one it is?
Lenn, Air Balloon.
Neil's walking out.
Neil is gone.
Maybe this is our chance, Neil, to redeem ourselves and be a little less rude. Like, we said this before to each other, like, we've probably never been as rude about any song as we have been about that one. We felt really bad.
So bad.
Although we didn't really say anything mean, we were just stating our
honest
opinion. But I'm curious what you have to say. What do you think about Lenn?
I felt bad too, because like the song, that song would be dated in the 70s. Like, I'm like, sorry, good morning. It's not a good morning. I don't wanna. He seems like such a sweet guy, and so that's why I don't want to be so harsh with him. But he's kind of off key when he's singing.
Sort of.
Yeah. And I don't want to blame. I want to blame VRT for putting him in the national final, because he's not a very experienced performer. Apparently, that was his first live performance. So why do we put someone who's never actually performed? We're gonna know why they put him there. And Manou has some words to say about that, I think.
She did?
So, no, I mean, the theme of her song is nepotism. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
yeah. It really is. Yeah. Daddy's girl, daddy's boy. Yeah.
We did say.
Yeah.
But the thing is, before I even knew that he was a Nepo baby, I said to Thomas in text, "This is giving Nepo baby vibes." And the next day, Thomas was like, "He is a Nepo baby." I'm like, "What?" He shouldn't be in this contest. He's not ready for it. He could be a good singer at some point. Who knows? But the song is not good. He does not sing it well. He does not look comfortable singing it either. This is just a mess in terms of the whole lineup. This is a mess.
Yeah, a mess and a miss. Wordplay there. The thing is, I don't necessarily hate the song. I don't really think that the song is the biggest issue here. The issue here is his vocal. I think that Lenn, charisma-wise, even though you can see that he's very nervous and he's not ready for this, I think he does have a bit of charisma. He's likable. Mm-hmm. You look at him. We've all just said it. We've said this in our video. You just said it as well. He seems like a very sweet, lovely guy, and you sort of feel for him, and you sort of want him to do well, and you want him to do better. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he does a much better job coming Saturday, but his vocal is just so, there's something really weird about it. I wouldn't say that he was out of tune the whole time, but there's something very whispery and like over dramatically breathy, and it's just sort of like it's like he's releasing all the air out of his lungs with every word that he says, and it's so weird. And I was almost transfixed watching that performance, trying to figure out how is it possible that you sound like this. You said, Neil, how on earth did he get this far? You know, we know why. He's obviously the son of a Spanish famous singer and the grandson of a two-time Belgian representative, in the 60s. The song in itself, for me, is not the problem. I quite think it's a sweet song. It's a cute song. The lyrics are very, let's not talk about the lyrics. But the instrumentation of the song is not bad. I said before, it sounds to me a bit like Austria's entry. I keep forgetting Zoe's song. Do you remember Zoe from Austria?
Yes.
Loin d'ici? Yeah.
I
feel like
video when it about it.
Yeah, I feel like it sounds a bit similar. It's a bit of similar vibe, and I quite enjoyed that song. My issue with the showcase was I felt like all I could focus on and all I could hear was his vocal, his really bad vocal, and I was sort of like, what is this music that's going on behind his vocal? I want to hear the instrumentation. It was as if his mic was so loud, and yet he was whispering the whole time. It was just so.
Yeah.
I think Simon Cowell would have a thing or two to say about.
Oh my God.
If that were an audition on the X Factor, I feel like Simon Cowell would have a lot to say about that one. But yeah, it's just and again, this comes back to nostalgia and what the Flemish public is going to go for. I'm semi-confident that they won't vote for it too massively, but I know that there are a lot of people there that are like, oh, he's the grandson of Louis Neef, so we should give him a chance. And I just, that's the only one where I'm literally going to scream if he wins. I'm going to scream with anger. And I will probably... Sorry. I will probably turn off the TV, and I will probably threaten to never watch Eurovision again in my life if that happens. I do that once every year usually. There's always something, when Musti didn't qualify last year, I was like, that's it, never watching Eurovision again. I gave up 2 days later and watched anyway. But yeah, that's just, it is so bad.
And it's unfortunate because we've said it, he seems nice. In the showcase, he seemed like he was getting on with people. But I feel you said it, VRT have a question to answer in terms of what were they thinking? Because they must have known that it wasn't going well.
But I think that's the thing. If you hear the studio cut of the song, it's not fabulous, but you can hear the instrumentation again. I don't mind the song. Like, again, maybe they just didn't know how he was going to sound live.
Maybe.
Surely you have to check that, though. Surely.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but he'd never performed before.
Yes, there you go.
How would they have known? That was their. I think they just went with that nostalgia thing, and they were like, "Oh, well, let's put him in there because it's going to get us viewers and stuff." Because it is, after all, a TV show. You need the viewers and stuff like that. So I think that's the main reason why he's there.
Get him in a room and just check he can actually sign first. I think is.
I kind of want to give him a big hug and just.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry.
I'm so
sorry.
I stop shading him because he's like a sweet guy. I don't want him to find this video and see 10 minutes of us just shading him in his song.
The thing is, we can think he's a nice guy, but just not like the song.
Yeah.
That's really it.
And you said about Loin d'ici worked mostly because, well, it had a more catchy chorus, and Zoe was actually a very charismatic performer and had pretty darn good vocals.
Yeah.
And also people like that little French cute vibe and everything. Like if she sang it in English, it wouldn't have worked the same way.
Yeah,
I believe.
Probably not.
So
Well,
that's maybe a
we're talking about cute French vibes. It's Mentissa
Oh, is that the
next.
next one? Is it?
excellent transition. Thank you so much. The next one is indeed Mentissa with Désolée. So Neil, since you did the transition,
Um,
hi.
so this is one where I'm still not 100% sure on it, and that's just me, because there was something that is intangible that I'm missing from it. I kept saying the other day that there was like an edge that I needed from it that wasn't there, and we think that we've got to the bottom of it. I think she just kind of almost sounded too perfect in her vocal at the showcase. I know that sounds stupid, but like, yeah, there was just something like I just wanted a tiny little bit more of grit or something like that in there. I think staging wise, don't start sitting down. I think that really took me out of the performance. It's also not great for your vocals to be sitting down while singing a lot of the time. It didn't really affect her vocally.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just said she sounded
Yeah.
perfect. So.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
sometimes it's not.
It didn't seem to affect her or to affect Demi in. Like
It's well known that most
Yeah, but
of the time.
Dami Im was sitting on a big light box, not a chair. So there's a difference there.
But yeah, I think this is one that I think I need to wait for tomorrow, Saturday night's final, to see how it performs. I think this is one that was wasted on a small stage. And this goes back to the idea of why we get in the showcases. Should we not just have one live show? Me and Thomas have had this debate back and forward a few times. But yeah, I begin to think that is what it is. That I just didn't get to really delve into this world because the world that she was creating in the song, because it was just sort of stuck in this one little area. She couldn't really move. It's such a small stage, you can't really move around it. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the 1997 Ireland Eurovision Song Contest stage, because that is circular and tiny. I remember every single time that we did a rewatch, and every single time it did a shot of the stage, it was like, why is it so small? Because there's so much room around it. That's maybe where the problem is. I want to see her do something.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one that will have an act, and I'm sort of expecting there to be dancers with her or something, maybe some live backing vocalists or something. But yeah, we sort of didn't like. We both agreed that it was cute and catchy and fun, but we didn't agree on that vocal part and then that edge thing. I think the song is perfect the way that it is. I feel like the issue that you might have might also translate into the fact that it's very much a radio friendly song. Play this on the radio and it will be a hit in every French speaking country, maybe even outside of it, because it is just super catchy. It's fun. You can't help but dance and move along. Maybe it's just not really made for Eurovision. And fun fact, she did write 2 songs for Eurosong. She sent both of them to VRT, one that she specifically wrote for Eurovision, and this one, Désolée. And VRT, together with Mentissa, went for the other one. So this one was just written for an album, not per se as a deep cut, probably as a single, but it was written for her next album. So maybe that could be the issue as well. We'll see on Saturday how it plays out live with staging and stuff like that. But I really love this song. It's stuck in my head, just like the Manou song. I absolutely love it. I've been playing it nonstop. Maybe try listening to the studio cut. Maybe that'll give you a little bit more depth. Maybe you'll hear the instrumentation a bit more. I think there are certain moments in the song that are very snappy and very quick, which could make for a good staging package. They could be playing with lights. They could be playing with camera angles there. This, to me, is a safe qualifier. I think if this one goes to Eurovision, it will be a safe qualifier. She is a very good vocalist. She won the Voice Kids in Flanders here, which is how she got famous.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
If this does go to Eurovision, are France voting in the Belgian semi-final?
No, I think they're in the other one.
I don't think they are.
France and
Oh, well.
Germany are in
That's
semi-final
unfortunate.
too.
They would 12 it because she's huge in France too.
That is what I was
She's big.
thinking. I was like, are they going to
Yeah.
have that benefit if she
She's
does
big.
go?
I actually saw loads of French people on social media going, "Why is she going for Belgium? She should be going for France." And people are like, "Well, she is Belgian." Yeah. So,
Yeah. And
do you know what it is with Mentissa? Is I feel like if Mentissa wants to do Eurovision, they should have just let her do Eurovision. I feel like she might be wasted a little bit on Eurosong. I feel like I was super excited when she was announced because I know her and I love her music, and I was like, why aren't they not? Why won't they just let her go to Eurovision? She wants to do it because she sent in songs, so just send her. Forget about Eurosong. Maybe she should have just waited a year and gone next year for RTBF because they don't do a national final anyway.
Exactly.
Do I think that this is the best option? No. Is it my absolute favorite in this lineup? No, it's my second favorite. But I would be thrilled to have her at Eurovision and just to have a song in French again. I said it before. It's been the last time we sent a song in French, completely in French, or any of our national languages really, was 2005. That's 20 years ago. You know, that.
Didn't have also English lyrics?
Yeah, but English is not an official language here.
Yeah, but I mean, it was not fully. I mean, it's not that the last time we sent a song that had no English in it.
Was 2005. I think you're thinking about Kate Ryan.
Oh,
Kate Ryan,
Wait,
Kate Ryan
was which year?
J'adore was 2006.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
2005 was on me. Okay, I thought you were talking about Kate Ryan there.
No, so Kate Ryan obviously had the song title Je t'adore, which was repeated, but the rest was in English. But in 2005, we had Nuno Resende, I think, who's a Flemish artist. That was the last time I sang in French.
Don't get them started on Kate Ryan. We'll be here forever.
Yeah, let's not start with Kate Ryan. Robbed queen. But yeah.
So I also have Mentissa as number 2 in my ranking. I love her as an artist. I was so hyped when she got announced. Now, what I think here, I think the song is really good. The chorus is really catchy. Like even before the full song was released, I heard the snippet, and I just had during that whole week before they revealed the full song that I had that pa pa da da in my head. I was just waiting for it. And she's an unbelievable vocalist. But there's one problem I have here, is that I feel like she, especially her, can do even better. She can do much better than this. Like I love it. It's one of my favorite songs. We made a top 15 of all the national finals so far, it would be in my top 15, maybe top 10. But I feel like she can do even better. Like she's got songs like Mamma Mia or Ebam that are songs that could go for a top 5 in Eurovision. This one feels like if we have a great staging, we would be happy with left side. And from Mentissa, I expect more than that. That's it. I love the song. If it wins, I would jump off joy. It would be one of my favorite songs that we would have sent. But I do feel that from her, I want her like to come back next year and be sent by the RTBF with an even better song.
Yeah,
So that's
no, I get what you mean.
Do you know if she's going to release the other song that she submitted? Because how upsetting would it be if you heard that and it was absolutely fantastic and like the best thing you've ever heard?
Yeah,
you'd be cursing
VRT,
right?
Yeah.
I hope
but she did actually say that they made the decision together. It's not like VRT said, no, only this song can it be, no other way. They made the decision together. I think they wanted to go with something that wasn't. And see, this comes back to writing songs, especially for a competition. You know, I think maybe they wanted to go with the riskier version, where it didn't feel like it was made for Eurovision, which can sometimes pay off. The thing is, it's one of those songs I don't know. I think the juries will appreciate it because of the vocal and because it's radio friendly, and those are all things that they look at. With the televote, I think it could go either way. We have seen other songs similar to this that don't really have any massive highs or lows or don't have any explosive instrumentation that still do really, really well because they stand out in their simplicity. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean it's very staging dependent, I think,
Yeah.
and I have no idea how they will stage it. I'm trying to imagine how they could pull this one off, and I don't see right now what they could do. I hope to be positively surprised on Saturday.
We'll see. We'll see on Saturday.
So we have got one last song, and he's
Two.
the number one in amount of views. One or
two
two?
songs.
Wait.
Oh, oh yeah, we do still have two songs.
Oh my
yeah, I was also
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean-
there was one song I forgot. Yeah. So next one is the number one in amount of views. He's the front runner. He's the teacher, not the student of the president of the jury. Which I will talk about that. It's Red Sebastian with Strobe Lights. Who wants to start there?
Go on, Thomas.
This is my favorite one out of the lineup. Absolutely love it. I think we've talked about dance music before shortly with Jelle van Dael, obviously having been in a dance act before. This would probably, if you talk about traditional songs, traditional music that are specific for a country, this would probably be the most Belgian song that we've ever sent, ever. There is a massive, massive dance, techno, trance scene in Belgium. There is a reason why we're home to the biggest techno music festival in the world, Tomorrowland. This would tick so many boxes. If Strobe Lights were in French, my mind would be blown. But I love it. I think it's edgy. I think it's risky. It's got a fantastic, phenomenal vocal when he does those long notes. I get chills. I was listening to the studio cut earlier today in the car, and it just gives me chills every time I hear that song. I loved the sort of like staging concept that was already there in this minimal showcase. Love the red lights. Love the flashing lights. The quick camera shots. I love everything about this. I think this is probably, whether you like the song or not, I think out of the lineup, this is the one that I think has the most potential for top 10 or even a top 5. Again, depending on what comes next, we have no clue what other countries are going to send. But I would be thrilled for Belgium to, for once, send something that doesn't feel like it's safe. I feel like 2017 with Blanche City Lights was a fantastic song, was also a bit riskier, and it paid off, but it's been too long. It's been 8 years now. We need something else than just pop music. I want something. I want something edgier. I want something riskier. I want something that will make people dance or make people's mouth fall open when they look at the performance. And I feel like there's huge potential with staging here. If that showcase already impressed so many people, imagine what he can do on a Eurovision stage. He's likable. He's charismatic. He's a very confident performer. I think he was probably. We're going to talk about Stefanie in a minute. Behind Stefanie, I think he's probably the one that had the most attitude, the best attitude, that sort of felt very natural. Just playing the cameras. I'm going to stop now. That's the one for me. That's the one that I want to see going to Eurovision.
I don't disagree with Thomas, but my thing is I am not a massive dance trance person. It's not something that I know a lot about. So the word that I used a lot when we listened to this was intriguing, because I was intrigued by it because it was something that's different to what I'm normally used to, especially when you think about Eurovision. I can't think of many songs that have been in Eurovision that sound anything like this. His vocal is fantastic. I love the red theme. Like, he looks amazing all in red. Even like the gloves that go all the way up. Oh, love. Yeah, it's intriguing, and I've still not listened to the stereo cut. I've been meaning to, but and I think this is another one where the final of Eurosong is where I'll be able to judge it better. I don't think the showcase was the place to judge it, because it feels like it's got something really big and that's so small. I'm just like, what's happening here? I'm not getting the full thing. So intrigued, yes. Ready to see more, yes. Absolutely 100% convinced that this would do well at Eurovision? No, because I don't know this type of music, and I don't know how people who watch Eurovision and vote in Eurovision would react to it. That's the only concern that I have. But I do agree it's risky, and sometimes being risky and sending something that does represent your country is better than being safe. So I don't disagree.
And you never know what you're going to get voting-wise in Eurovision. How many songs have we thought were going to do amazingly and then completely flopped, and the other way around? So
it's polarizing, I think, and I believe that's one of the things you could do in Eurovision. Like, a lot of people will strongly dislike it, or maybe hate it, but it doesn't really matter, as you can't vote against a song in Eurovision. And you will have a lot of people who absolutely love it. It's a love or hate kind of song.
Yeah.
For most people. Well, you can be kind of in between, like, interested and curious about it, but not fully feeling it. But there are a lot of people who love and hate it. I personally really, really like it. I think it's extremely catchy. He's got such a great voice, has charisma. He's a performer. It's like, I remember when people were doubting Gustav after he won our national final. I was like, we still don't qualify because the man is a hell of a good performer, and we saw he brought a good result. And Red Sebastian is someone you can relax when he's there. You're like, he will not fuck any note up. He will do the job perfectly. It's not like we sent Musti last year, and vocally we saw that it didn't really work out on the performance, and that killed us because the song was a killer song that the performance didn't follow. Here you have a great song that could do well, and you have the performer with it. You have the right that's maybe a bit better.
Strobe lights, the lights have to come on again. See, it's all...
Exactly, that everything is related, everything is connected. And I think he's winning the jury for the national final, not Eurovision, but I have a little thing here. We know that he's Gustav's student, and we put a picture of one of our performers as the head of the jury. I love Gustav and Red Sebastian and all. I do not want to criticize Gustav, but I'm like, will he be fully objective in the voting? Like, will that not help Red Sebastian more to get the lead in the jury?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
One jury member, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 jury members. And I think even if you took Gustav out of the jury completely, recused him, I think you would find Red Sebastian getting a lot of these 12s anyway. So I don't think it really matters at the end of the day.
If the song is good, if the song is that good, and if it is the fan favorite, and like you said, it has the most views on YouTube by far. I think he had, when I looked earlier, he had 96,000 views in 2 days. Since it was uploaded on Saturday evening. The second one is Mentissa with I think 37,000. That's a difference of 60,000. That's more than double the amount of views. He's the highest newcomer in the ultra top. He is also #1 on iTunes. So can you really then say, Gustav, you didn't vote fairly when he puts him first? Again, if by some weird coincidence, the performance on Saturday in the final tends to turns out to be horrible, and it's a shit performance, and he misses every single note. If he then wins the jury vote, I'd be like, this is suspicious, because we have seen some certain national finals where it has sort of felt like they're very much pushing towards one song.
Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not accusing anyone, but that did feel like there was a very clear favorite from the production team of the show. But I don't see any issue with fair voting in the juries. I mean, it is the fan favorite for a reason. So if he wins the jury vote, it'll only be fair, I think.
I would be very happy with him representing Belgium. And one thing that it also has is I already feel an identity on stage. I feel like there's really he knows what he wants to do with the staging and the performance.
Yeah.
There's clearly a plan there, and for
Just needs a
Eurovision,
chance.
Yeah, and I think compared to if we go back to Leez for a second, here you can, like you said, you can see Red Sebastian's or Seppa, which is his real name. You can see Seppa's vision in this song. You can see it in the concept in his look, whereas Leez's entire package sounds a lot more like it was decided for her. I'm not saying it was, but it sounds like it was. Like she has a team around her that say, well, this would be best, and it would be best if you look like this. It would be best if the song sounds like this. It would be best if we do this kind of staging. With Red Sebastian, you know he's in control. He has a vision where he wants to go with this, and I think VRT is just going to follow that. Look at Loïc Notet, 2015, completely, wrote the song himself. Did the entire staging, the entire performance was produced and directed by him. They gave him complete control, and it worked off. It paid off. It worked brilliantly. So, yeah.
It has a very high ceiling.
Yeah.
One last thing is I worried a little bit about the casual voter, like the one that just tunes in Eurovision. And I mean, my dad listened to the Eurosong songs, and I was surprised that his favorite was Red Sebastian. So I'm like, maybe the casual audience also can connect to this song. I'm not saying that one example represents everything, but it maybe means something.
But then sometimes I also think because we talk about casual voting and casual viewers, we talk so often about voting and will people who watch the contest for the first time on the night and hear the songs for the first time on the night, or who just casually tune in, will they vote for a certain song? The real question is, do they even vote?
Yeah.
Point blank.
Yes.
Who votes in
Yes.
Eurovision? I think it's mainly the actual the Euro fans, and even a bunch of them will not actually spend money on voting. So I don't think that's a big issue. And like you said, it is very polarizing. So these acts tend to do well. Look at Karia, look at Looren, look at Baby Lasagna, all very polarizing entries for different reasons. A lot of people loved it, a lot of people hated it, but they all did really well. Same even with Nemo's song, a lot of people didn't get it, but they won nonetheless. So I'm not saying Red Sebastian is going to win Eurovision. I'm just saying it could be a good sign. But we'll have to see. So now we have one left. Now we have one left.
Now we have one left. And the last one is Gloria by, let me get the name right, Stefanie Callebaut.
Yeah.
I pronounce it like
you
that.
Did. Niall also did a really good job earlier.
Yay! And I butcher everything. So to get that good was right.
Jelle.
So I
Coupé monte le son. The pronunciation was like,
yeah, I really tried. I really tried. Okay, Stefanie Callebaut. I watched this performance for the first time about 2 hours ago, and I loved everything about it. Not necessarily my favorite song at all, but she is a performer through and through, and she was probably the most competent performer on that stage during the entire showcases. She sounded fantastic. We said something like Kate Bushy, a little bit Cyndi Lauper, like these classic singers. And then I was like, is she a musical theatre star? Because she absolutely just sounds amazing. Now the song goes in wild directions. Like at one point, it sounds like you're in Sister Act.
Yeah.
But I really found it captivating, and that is such a great sign for any performer, especially if it's a song that the person wouldn't normally be captivated by. I wasn't even captivated by the song, I was just captivated by her. I said to Thomas, I said, I need to listen to this again to actually listen to the lyrics properly, because I was just like mesmerized. Like, I even used the word slay. I don't use the word slay. Like, I'm ready to be like, slay mama. Like, I loved her. I loved her personality. I do not think she will win, but she could. We've seen weirder things. And you know what? I wouldn't even be mad if she did, because I think there's just this really nice bit of charisma to her, and I want to know more about her. I want to go have a drink of wine with her. I think that's what I want to do.
She looks like she loves wine.
We would be best friends. We'd be best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need another Belgian best friend though. I've already got one.
Well, you can never have enough of Belgian best friends. I have to agree. And when I heard the song for the first time during Showcase 2, I wasn't convinced. And again, we just listened to the song earlier tonight with headphones in. So you hear a lot more layers. You hear the vocal a lot better. You hear the instrumentation a lot better. And I was impressed as well. I was also transfixed by her, not so much the song, because the song in itself, apart from the vocal, instrumentation-wise, there's not a lot happening. It's very simple. It's very serene, but her vocal goes everywhere. It goes up and down and left and right and diagonal. It goes in all directions, and every single note is pitch perfect. It is impressive. She pulls you in. She played the camera. And that's why we thought about musical theater. She's very theatrical in her movements, her facial expression, the power and the drama. It was just all done to perfection. I think this one might have shot up from being my second last, so my seventh. It might just jump up to my top 3, just because I just rewatched that performance. Maybe this worked well because it was such a tiny stage. It is a very intimate song. You have a tiny stage. You have the audience right in front of you. On a bigger stage, it might fall flat. Depending on camera angles, of course, you can still make something very intimate on a big stage. Look at Barbara Pravi. Fantastic staging. Yeah. Also, fantastically well done. But at least they had a band on stage as well. She's obviously on her own. But
for now.
It's just for now. Maybe there was a choir. It went gospel-y at some point, which I loved. I was like, obviously you can't have an entire choir on stage, but it would be nice if she has some live vocals with her.
Yeah.
Maybe that come in at a certain point in the performance. They don't have to be there the entire time. But I also wouldn't be angry if this won. I don't think it will, but if it won, I'd be like, it would probably be the riskiest one out of the lineup. It is the one that you have no clue what it's going to do. It could completely smash the jury vote. It could also completely flop with the televote.
Yeah.
It would depend on people's mood on the night, but I wouldn't hate it. I'd be proud of this because it's so unique. It's so captivating, and it's nothing like any other song that we've ever sent, but even that anyone else has ever sent. Can you even recall any song at Eurovision that sounded like this? I can't.
Not really,
Or
but
at least not.
Me neither.
I've got a way that you could stage it really well. You could stage it a little bit like Undo by Sanna Nielsen, you know, with lights in the center of them, clean visual. I will say the way that this was staged,
the backdrop,
the way that this was staged in the showcase was perfect. The simple backdrop, the lights. Whoever's the light engineer at VRT, you're doing an amazing job, honey. Keep it up. You need a pay raise, because for a very basic stage, the lights have made it work at all points. But the simple backdrop, the gorgeous dress she had on, she looked stunning. This is the one that captivated me the most, and it might be because it was that smaller stage. But I really did just like. Stefanie, if you've happened to watch this and you're still here after an hour and 20 minutes, please call me and we can go for wine.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm joining. I'll not be having wine, but I'm joining.
Yeah.
You earlier used the word captivating. That's what it's her. She's captivating. Like you both said everything. I don't really have anything to add. Like the song doesn't excite me. Seeing her perform, seeing her sing it, that makes me want to watch. If I want to pay attention to it, and well, I would argue though when you said it would be the riskier one, I think sending a Lenn would be a bigger risk.
I thought we were done shading him.
Yeah, that's for the last time.
Poor Lenn.
I'm so sorry, Dylan. Please don't stumble on this video. I think she's wonderful, and yeah, I don't really have anything to add because you said everything. I just think the staging needs to be intimate. She'll do the work. Just give her good camera work, and she'll do the rest. Actually, I can see this in Eurosong. I like Flemish people. They like this kind of older performer. I'm not saying she's old, but she's more experienced.
Yes, she is.
They like this kind of performers, and the juries might like her. So I can somehow see this pull off a surprise, maybe not win, but ending up in the top 3. I wouldn't be shocked if this was top 3. In Eurovision,
I think it's going to depend on the staging and how VRT, how the camera work is going to be like. If she can captivate the audience at home, then who knows what could happen. But definitely with the juries, I could see this doing very, very well, because we've seen from 2023 that the juries don't necessarily go for the best song. They really go for the entire package. Is there a good performance here? And Gustav's performance was insanely good, was the best of the night, and that's why it won. So in that sense, can she win Eurosong?
Yeah.
I wouldn't count her out.
We can have another Gustav situation where the winner doesn't win the jury or the televote, but ends up being the overall winner. And this might be the case with this song.
I wouldn't hail it. I wouldn't.
Yeah. I would like it. I like the song. I mean, maybe not the song, but I like the package.
Yeah.
When I listen to it,
It would be interesting. I think Thomas said this earlier on to me, but it would be interesting to see how a song like this actually did today, like in 2025. Like to actually, if this was an internal selection and we weren't talking about Eurosong at all, if we're just talking about this is going to Eurovision, it'd be so interesting to see how this sort of thing would go down in the jury and the televote, because it is a bit risky. It is different. It's got that musical theatre likeness. I would love to see how it would do. I fear that I would just be a bit disappointed that it didn't do as well as I'd maybe have hoped it would.
I would be surprised if this makes it in Eurovision to the final.
Yeah,
unfortunately, yes.
Especially with the televote only. And I think the biggest issue with the song might be because we've been talking about her and her charisma, and that's all perfect. But the song in itself, there isn't really anything that's catchy, that's memorable. So even though you might be, you were transfixed by Leez watching that performance, but you can't remember the song. And I think that might be a bit similar with Stefanie. She might pull you in at the moment, but will you remember it at the end of the show when you have to start voting? Well, I mean, now they start voting in the beginning, so who knows? But
and there's a recap. There's a recap.
Yeah, but still, a recap is just it would be very risky.
What I remember from the song is Gloria. I don't really remember anything else.
Yes.
That's still like I remember seeing her, being captivated by her, but from the song, just the Gloria that I remember.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we went through the song, and I think it's time to take the decision of which song would be the best option for Belgium result-wise. Which song could have the best result here in Eurovision?
I don't think you have to ask me. For me, it's Red Sebastian. Not just because it's my favorite song, but also results-wise, I think this is the biggest shot that we have to get a good result.
I can't actually say for certain because it is relying on that final show, and I think I just need. There's a few that I've said I need to see what they're like, and those few are the ones that I think have the better chance of getting to Eurovision and potentially doing well at Eurovision, but I want to see them. But really, I think I would like to see Jelle, Red Sebastian, maybe Mentissa or Leez. But yeah, I think there's some really good options here for Belgium.
Is that your personal favorite, or do you think who has the biggest chance of doing a good result?
That's my personal favorite.
Okay, but who do you think is going to be? Who do you think has the most chance to do well?
I would want to say
he's avoiding the question.
I would want to say Red Sebastian based on the reaction and the impact, but because I'm not 100% in on that, because just of my lack of knowledge of the genre, my lack of experience with it, I'm just not fully sure, if that makes sense. Like as much as I can understand why, I just I'm not sure because quite a few of these are risky, are risky songs, and because of that, you just don't know how it's going to go. So I don't want to like make a statement and it like get thrown back in my face in like 5 months' time.
But we're all making statements based on nothing, really. You know, we haven't had any decent staging yet, but you know that's what it is. You said you think it's Red Sebastian based on the reaction from other people, and that's completely fair. At this point, with what we know now, you're not 100% sure on the song for yourself personally, but you think it could be the best option based on other people's reaction. I think that's totally fair.
Yeah, it could be. The thing that worries me about that is the casual viewer reaction, because it's a specialized genre. It's not necessarily one of the more mainstream genres throughout Europe. So how would that be taken? So that's sort of where I'm at. But yeah, I think.
But a lot of people love techno music, though. A lot of people love these sort of.
For sure.
True. And
we'll see. What do you think?
We worried about casual voters for Bambithag, for Constracta, even though I was not a fan of Constracta's song, but she did wonderful with the televote. And I'm thinking, yes, Go Away was second with the televote, I think. That did amazing. Second or third?
I don't know about. No, I think France was second.
Maybe
third
France
or fourth. Yeah.
And I'm thinking like There are some songs here that sound like they could qualify, but I'm not like having hopes of top 10 or anything. The safer choice to get to the left side would be Mentissa or Jelle, but the song with the higher ceiling would be Red Sebastian. It could go wrong, but let's. We've been going safe again and again and again, and
Yeah.
we did top 10 with Gustav, and before that, our last top 10 was Blanche. So I'm like, and Gustav was a bit more risky than the other songs we sent. It was not very risky, but compared to the reaction, you would be like, hey, it's a risk to send this one.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, let's take a risk. I would love to have Jelle Van. My dream would be to have Jelle Van Dael, so I would be so happy if she wins. But I kind of also want to take risk, even though Sebastian is not my number one, he's my third, and I really like his songs, so I would be very happy. Let's take a risk and let's send Red Sebastian and see where it leads us. If we end up 15th, 16th, okay, no problem, we still tried.
Yeah.
What if we go do some kind of big results? Wouldn't that be special?
And you know at least you would be proud of the song no matter what its result is. I mean, look at Mae Muller. The whole of UK and beyond is super proud of that girl. She didn't do well at the end, but everybody loves that song so much. So why not take a risk? So now we know that your favorite is Jelle, I think.
Yeah.
My favorite is Red Sebastian, but Niall has still not told us what his actual favorite song is. And you have to answer the question.
Who is you?
Why do you do this to me? My favorite song is Air Balloon.
Justice for Lenn.
Lenn for the win, not the Eurovision.
Okay. Belgium 2026.
Look, somebody needs to. I'm gonna, when this video comes out, I'm gonna download that part and I'm gonna throw it in your face later.
Yeah.
No, I've not ranked them yet because they are only just fresh in my mind. I would say out of them, instantly probably my favorite is Jelle, because I need time for Mentissa and Red Sebastian. I need to sort of see more. They weren't straight. They weren't instant connections. And I'm not going to say it. I don't even. It's not my favorite song, but my favorite artist is Stefanie.
Yeah.
She's the best artist, probably.
And that counts for something, I think. I know it's Eurosong, it's not Euro artist, but I love her. I've only known of her existence for 2 hours and I'm obsessed.
Yes, I get it. So, to recap, we all think Red Sebastian would be the best option for Belgium. We also think that Jelle and Mentissa would probably bring good results, that Manou or Grace would potentially qualify.
Yeah.
Stefanie, we're thinking is a risk. Leez and Lenn, we don't really believe in for Eurovision. So
Leez is sort of like I'd put her together with Grace and not really Le Manou. I think Le Manou is on a higher level. But yeah.
Grace has an advantage. Grace has an advantage by the fact that it's 100% televote semifinal. In a grand final, I would maybe think that Leez would do better, but in a semifinal, I think Grace would be above.
Yeah.
Maybe. But can't wait for Saturday, to be honest.
Oh, it's going to be good.
I'm finally hyped about Belgium. Like, we've had an era where I was so like, what song are we sending again? And I was just over it after 5 minutes. Now the hype is back since Gustav, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, thanks all for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
So fun. That was so fun. And thanks a lot to anyone who watched the whole video. It's very long. We're sorry. We like talking.
No, we're not. We're not sorry.
No,
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah, we're not sorry. So yeah, don't forget to put a like, comment, subscribe. Tell us who do you think would be the best option for Belgium. Go to niallpoints.com. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel. Follow them on social media. I'm gonna put all. Like, that's amazing. I'm gonna put all the links in the description below. See you there. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you, and also again, subscribe to this channel as well. Like, thank you for having us. We're very excited to do this collab, and like the video, share it with everyone, and comment, share your opinions. I would say if you agree with us or not, and just be polite. Just keep it
Yeah.
polite. I would say.
I think if you've made it to this point of the video, you're going to be polite.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to be.
in my comment section, they tend to be kind of polite.
Good.
Okay.
Usually. So yeah, thanks all for watching. Goodbye.